Chase the Dream You Were Born For, an audiobook about focus, purpose, and the life you are meant to live. Chapter 1. The Voice Inside You. There is a voice inside you that has never gone quiet. You have heard it at strange hours, late at night when the house is still and everyone else is asleep, early in the morning before the world asks anything of you, in the middle of an ordinary Tuesday when you are sitting somewhere you are supposed to be happy, and yet something inside you whispers, "This is not it. There is more. You were made for more." That voice is not restlessness. It is not ingratitude. It is not you being difficult or unrealistic or immature. That voice is the truest thing about you. It is the dream you were born carrying, and it has been waiting your whole life for you to stop apologizing for it and start running toward it. This book is for the person who has a dream but is afraid to say it out loud. For the person who started once and got knocked back and is not sure they have the courage to try again. For the person who is surrounded by people who mean well but do not understand. For anyone who has ever looked at the life they are living and known, deep in their bones, that there is a version of their life out there that looks nothing like this one. You are not crazy, you are not too late, and you are not alone. Let us begin. Chapter 2. What a dream actually is. Most people misunderstand what a dream is. They think it is a fantasy, something soft and unreliable that you indulge in when life gets boring. They think it belongs in the same category as wishes, like blowing out birthday candles or throwing a coin in a fountain. But a real dream is not a wish. A real dream is a calling. A calling has weight to it. It does not disappear when life gets hard. In fact, it tends to get louder when life gets hard. Because difficulty strips away everything that is not essential, and what remains when everything else falls away is exactly who you are and exactly what you are here to do. Think about the thing you keep coming back to. The idea that lives rent-free in the back of your mind, no matter how many times you try to push it out. The skill you stay up learning even when you are exhausted. The problem you cannot stop thinking about solving. The art you create not because anyone asked you to, but because something inside you absolutely has to. That is not a hobby, that is a signal. The world trains us to be suspicious of our own deepest impulses. We are taught to be practical, to think about job security and approval and what the neighbors will think. And those things are not entirely worthless, but they were never meant to be the loudest voice in the room. They were meant to be background information, not the author of your entire life story. Your dream is not impractical. It may be unconventional. It may require sacrifice. It may ask things of you that feel impossible right now. But impractical is the wrong word for a thing you were specifically designed to do. Chapter 3. The gap between where you are and where you want to be. Here is the part nobody tells you about chasing a dream. There is a gap, a real one. A wide one, and standing at the edge of that gap, looking across at who you want to become and what you want to build, is one of the most uncomfortable feelings in the world. On one side of the gap is your current reality, the job you may not love, the skills you have not yet developed, the connections you have not yet made, the version of yourself that is still learning, still growing, still uncertain. On the other side of the gap is everything you are reaching for. The life you have imagined, the person you believe you could become. And between those 2 points is just one thing: work. Not talent, not luck, not who your parents were or where you grew up or whether the timing is perfect. Just work. Consistent, unglamorous, repeated, sometimes boring and sometimes thrilling work. Most people stand at the edge of that gap and wait. They wait for the fear to go away. They wait to feel ready. They wait for someone to give them permission or a sign or a guarantee. And while they are waiting, the gap does not close. It sits there unchanged, and slowly the dream on the other side starts to feel less real, less possible, less theirs. The secret is that you have to start crossing the gap before you are ready, before the fear is gone, before you have everything figured out. You start, and then the readiness comes. You move, and then the confidence comes. You begin, and then the path reveals itself. You do not think your way across the gap, you walk your way across it. Chapter 4. The people who will not understand. When you decide to seriously pursue a dream, something interesting happens. Some of the people closest to you will become uncomfortable. They will not mean to undermine you. Many of them will love you genuinely and want good things for you. But they will still say things like, "Are you sure about this?" Or, "What is your backup plan?" Or, "I just do not want to see you get hurt." What they are really saying is, "Your movement is making me aware of my stillness." When someone in your life starts chasing something, it holds up a mirror, and sometimes people do not like what they see in that mirror. They are not bad people. They are just people who made different choices or who were too afraid to make the choices they wanted to make. And watching you do it stirs something in them that is uncomfortable. You cannot let their discomfort become your cage. This does not mean you become arrogant or dismissive. It does not mean you stop listening to wise counsel. There is a difference between someone who challenges you because they believe in you and want you to think clearly, and someone who discourages you because your ambition makes them uneasy. Learn to tell the difference. Treasure the first kind of person. They are rare. Gently stop seeking approval from the second kind. And find your people. They exist. The world is full of people who are also chasing something, who understand the late nights and the doubt and the strange exhilaration of building something from nothing. Find them, online or in person, in communities and groups and conversations. Surround yourself with people who believe that ordinary people can do extraordinary things, because that belief is contagious. Who you spend your time with matters more than almost anything else. Energy is transferable. Doubt is transferable, but so is belief, so is courage, so is momentum. Choose carefully. Chapter 5. The Art of Staying Focused. Focus is not a personality trait, it is a practice. Nobody is naturally focused in the way that matters for chasing a dream. The brain is not designed for sustained attention on one important thing. It is designed for novelty, for distraction, for scanning the horizon for threats and opportunities. The ability to stay locked onto a long-term goal in the face of every daily distraction is something you build deliberately over time. Here is what focus actually looks like in practice. It looks like knowing your one most important task for the day before the day begins, and doing that task before you do anything else. It looks like protecting your mornings. The first hours of the day are precious because your willpower, your clarity, and your creative capacity are at their highest. Most people spend those hours on email and social media and other people's priorities. The person chasing a dream learns to spend at least some of those hours on their own work first. It looks like learning to say no. No to things that are fine but not essential. No to opportunities that are good but not aligned. No to events, commitments, and requests that consume time and energy without moving you toward the life you are building. Saying no is not selfish. It is the price of saying yes to what matters most. It looks like building systems instead of relying on motivation. Motivation is real, but it is unreliable. Some mornings you will wake up burning with energy and enthusiasm. Other mornings you will wake up tired and doubtful and unsure about everything. The system does not care about your mood. The habit shows up regardless. The calendar block exists whether you feel like it or not. Build structures that carry you on the days when you cannot carry yourself. And it looks like protecting your attention from the constant noise of a world that profits from your distraction. Social media, news cycles, the endless scroll of other people's lives and opinions. None of that is inherently evil, but all of it is hungry for the one resource you cannot get more of, which is your time and attention. Guard it fiercely. Chapter 6. When it gets hard. There will be a moment, and probably more than one, when you will seriously consider giving up. Not because you do not care, not because the dream is wrong, but because the gap between where you are and where you want to be will feel too wide. The progress will feel too slow, and the voice that says maybe this is not for you will get very loud. This moment is not a sign that you should stop. This moment is a test, and almost everyone who has ever built anything meaningful has been exactly where you are standing right now. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before the light bulb worked. Oprah Winfrey was told she was unfit for television. J.K. Rowling wrote Harry Potter as a single mother on welfare, rejected by publisher after publisher. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination. Every person you admire who has built something real has a story of failure, rejection, and the specific dark night of the soul where they had to decide whether to keep going. They kept going, and that is why you know their names. The difference between the people who achieve their dreams and the people who do not is almost never talent. It is almost never timing or luck or circumstance. It is persistence, the willingness to get up one more time than you fall down, the refusal to let a setback be the final word. Pain is part of the process. Failure is part of the process. Self-doubt, confusion, plateaus, frustration, the feeling that everyone else has it figured out and you are the only one who is struggling, all of that is part of the process. It does not mean you are doing it wrong. It means you are doing it. The path to a dream is not a straight line. It is messy and winding and full of unexpected turns. But every twist teaches you something. Every failure contains information that the easy path never would have given you. The hard seasons are doing work on you that the easy seasons cannot do. Let them do their work. Chapter 7. Progress that you cannot see. One of the hardest parts of chasing a dream is that the most important progress is invisible. When you work out, there is a period of weeks before you see any visible change in your body. But inside, things are already shifting. Cells are responding. Muscles are adapting. Biology is changing at a level you cannot see yet. The results are coming, they are just not visible yet. The same is true of every dream you pursue. You write the chapters no one reads yet. You record the videos no one watches yet. You practice the skill that no one is paying you for yet. You build the relationships that have not paid off yet. And because you cannot see the compound interest accumulating, it is easy to believe that nothing is happening. But things are happening. You are becoming someone different. You are developing the mind, the discipline, the knowledge, the network, the resilience that the dream requires. The external results are the last thing to change, not the first. What changes first is you. Trust the unseen progress. Keep going even when the scoreboard does not reflect your effort yet. The scoreboard is always a lagging indicator. It shows you where you were, not where you are becoming. There is a moment in the pursuit of every dream when things suddenly accelerate, when the invisible work becomes visible, when the skills you quietly built start producing results you can actually see and touch, when the audience finds you, when the opportunity arrives, when the years of laying foundations suddenly become a building that other people can walk into. That moment is coming, but only for the people who did not quit in the invisible season. Chapter 8. The identity shift. Here is something important that most people miss. Before the dream becomes real in the world, it has to become real inside you. You have to start seeing yourself as the person you are becoming, not just the person you currently are. This is not delusion, this is not fake confidence or empty affirmation. This is a recognition of a truth that takes courage to hold on to, which is that identity precedes achievement. The writer who eventually gets published had to start calling themselves a writer before anyone else agreed. The entrepreneur who eventually builds the company had to start thinking like a builder before the company existed. The athlete who wins the championship had to carry the belief of a champion through every season they had not won yet. Who you believe yourself to be determines how you act, and how you act determines what you create. So start now. Start carrying the identity of the person chasing your dream, not waiting to earn it at some future finish line. You are already in the race. That counts. Treat yourself like someone in the race. This means the way you talk about yourself, the goals you write down, the standards you hold yourself to, the people you seek out, the information you consume. All of it should start reflecting who you are becoming, not just who you have been. You are not pretending, you are practicing. You are building the internal architecture that the external achievement will one day stand on. Chapter 9. The power of one more day. On the days when the dream feels far away, you do not need to solve everything. You do not need to make up for lost time or figure out the whole plan or feel the fire again. You just need to do one thing, one small, real, concrete thing that moves you 1 inch closer to where you are going. One more day of showing up, one more page written, one more lesson watched, one more person reached out to, one more hour invested, one more attempt made. The dream is not won in the moments of peak inspiration. It is won in the ordinary moments when inspiration is nowhere to be found and you show up anyway. When it is late and you are tired and nobody is watching and there is no applause, and you sit down and do the work anyway because you made a promise to yourself and you are the kind of person who keeps their promises. That is where character is built. That is where the dream is actually assembled, one quiet brick at a time. The finish line is not a single dramatic moment. It is the accumulation of 10,000 ordinary moments where you chose to keep going instead of giving up. You will not remember most of those moments, but they are building you, and the version of you that they are building is more than capable of living the life you are dreaming about. Chapter 10. The Life on the Other Side. Let me paint a picture of what it looks like when you get there. Not when you arrive at some perfect destination, because the journey never fully ends, but when you cross the threshold into a life that is aligned with who you actually are and what you were actually built to do. You wake up in the morning and the first thought is not dread. It is not the weight of a life you did not choose pressing down on you before the day has even started. The first thought is closer to hunger, a readiness, an aliveness. You are not doing work that drains you. You are doing work that, even when it is difficult, even when it is frustrating, even when it asks everything you have, fills you from the inside. There is a difference between being tired from work that matters and being hollow from work that does not. On the other side, you know that difference intimately. You look in the mirror and you recognize the person looking back. Not a person shaped entirely by other people's expectations or fears or definitions of success. A person who made hard choices, who took real risks, who showed up on days when showing up took everything. A person who decided their life was worth fighting for and then fought for it. And here is the thing about that person. They are not special. They are not different from you. They just decided to stop waiting. Closing, begin today. This is the last chapter, and it is the shortest one, because everything you need to know you already know. You have a dream. It is real. It is worth pursuing. The path will be harder than you want it to be and more rewarding than you can currently imagine. You will doubt yourself. You will face setbacks. People will misunderstand you. And you will keep going anyway because you have read this far and something in you recognizes the truth of these words, which means the dream inside you is still alive. Begin today, not next Monday, not when the circumstances are better, not when you have more time or more money or more confidence. Today, write the first paragraph, record the first video, make the first call, take the first class, do the first thing. The dream is waiting. It has always been waiting. Go meet it.